Hello everyone, welcome to Tennis Fan Video. Welcome everyone to a monumental edition of our tennis coverage. Today we are asking a question that is suddenly echoing to the grandstands of Wimbledon, reverberating across the hard courts of Flushing Meadows and dominating the headlines from Manila to Madrid. The whole world is intrigued. The sporting community is captivated, and the tennis establishment is officially on notice. Could Alexandra Eala be the generational superstar that women's tennis has been waiting for? We are witnessing a paradigm shift in the sport. A moment in time where a new electrifying talent bursts onto the scene and completely rewrites the script of what is possible. For decades, the narrative of professional tennis has been dominated by a select few nations. A traditional hierarchy of powerhouses in Europe, the United States, and Australia. But today, the most exciting story in the world of sports is being written by a 20-year-old left-hander from Quezon City, Philippines. Right now, as we speak in late March of 2026, the breaking news is nothing short of spectacular. Alexandra Eala has just skyrocketed to a career-high ranking of world number 29. Let that sink in for a moment. Number 29 in the entire world. In a sport played by millions, in a profession defined by ruthless competition and razor-thin margins, a 20-year-old Filipina stands among the absolute elite. She has officially amassed over 1,500 ranking points, completely obliterating every historical record for a player from her nation. Just a few days ago, she captivated audiences at the Miami Open, battling through the round of 16 after grueling dramatic victories over seasoned veterans like Laura Siege and Magdalenette. Although her remarkable run was halted by the formidable world number 14, Karolina Muchova, Eala's performance cemented a profound truth that the tennis world is finally waking up to. Her historic magical semi-final run at this exact same tournament last year was absolutely no fluke. She is here. She is dangerous, and she is just getting started. To truly understand the magnitude of this breaking news, we have to look at the landscape of women's tennis today. We are in a transitional era. The undisputed queens of the past generation, legends like Serena Williams, Maria Sharapova, and Ashley Barty have hung up their rackets. While we have incredible champions currently carrying the torch, players like Iga Swiatek, Oriana Sabalenka, and Coco Gauff, the global fan base is always hungry, always searching, always waiting for that next transcendent figure. They are looking for a player who doesn't just win matches, but who captures imagination, who brings an entirely new demographic to the sport, and who carries themselves with a blend of fierce competitiveness and grounded humility. Alexandra Eala represents all of this and more. She brings a fresh dynamic narrative to the tour. She is not just playing for ranking points or prize money. She is carrying the hopes, the dreams, and the immense unparalleled passion of over 100 million Filipinos on her shoulders. The significance of her current ranking of world number 29 cannot be overstated. Before Eala, no player from the Philippines had ever broken into the top 30 of the Women's Tennis Association singles rankings. Before Eala, no Filipina had ever commanded the global tennis spotlight quite like this. She is breaking glass ceilings every time she steps onto the baseline. Just recently, she was named the Philippine Sports Writers Association's Female Athlete of the Year for 2025, an incredibly prestigious honor in her home country, sharing the stage with legends of Philippine sports. But her impact goes so much further than national pride. The global tennis community is watching her every move because she possesses the rare intangible qualities of a powerful left-handed game, the tactical mind honed at the world-renowned Rafael Nadal Academy, and the ice-cold composure to stand toe-to-toe with Grand Slam champions and emerge victorious. Consider what she achieved over the last 12 to 18 months. She became the first Filipino to break the top 100, then the top 50. She became the first to defeat a top 5 player, sending shockwaves around the globe when she stunned world number 2 IGST in Miami in 2025. She won her first WDA Challenger title in Guadalajara. She earned her first ever Grand Slam main draw victory at the United States Open, defeating Clara Tauson in a match that literally brought the crowd to a standstill. And now in 2026, she has proven that she can sustain that excellence, reaching the quarterfinals in Dubai with a brilliant victory over top 10 star Jasmine Paolini. Pushing through to the 4th round at Indian Wells and backing it up with another deep run in Miami, she is proving that she can endure the brutal, unforgiving grind of the professional tour. This brings us back to our central burning question. Is she the chosen one? Is she the player who will define the next decade of women's tennis? The intrigue surrounding Alexandra Eala is not just based on her current ranking. It is based on her limitless ceiling. When you watch her play, you see a 20-year-old who possesses a tennis IQ that usually takes a decade on the pro tour to develop. You see a player who uses her left-handed spin to open up the court with surgical precision. You see a fierce competitor who, despite her youth, refuses to be intimidated by the biggest names, the brightest lights, or the most pressure-packed situations. But what truly makes the whole world intrigued is the human element of her story. Eala is not a product of a massive tennis federation with endless resources. She is a product of extraordinary family sacrifice, relentless personal dedication, and a bold leap of faith to move across the world to Spain at the tender age of 13 to pursue an impossible dream. She is navigating the intense, suffocating pressure of being a national icon while trying to survive the week-to-week emotional roller coaster of the WTA Tour. Following her recent loss to Machova in Miami, her words were strikingly mature. She acknowledged the disappointment. She recognized the pressure she places on herself, but she remained remarkably balanced, noting that one bad loss does not define her, just as one great win does not make her invincible. That level of self-awareness is exactly what separates good players from all-time greats. So, as we prepare to dive deep into the fascinating, unprecedented journey of Alexandra Eala, keep in mind the sheer gravity of what we are witnessing. We are not just watching a talented youngster string together a few good tournaments. We are watching the real-time evolution of a global sports icon. We are watching a young woman systematically dismantle the geographical and historical barriers of professional tennis. We are watching a phenomenal talent who has the entire world asking, how far can she go? Can she win a Grand Slam? Can she reach world number one? Could she truly be the superstar the tennis world is waiting for? Stay with me because we are about to unpack every single layer of this extraordinary story. We will examine her origins, her spectacular junior career, the turning points of her professional breakthrough, her tactical evolution, and the massive cultural phenomenon she has become. This is a definitive analysis of Alexandra Eala. Deep dive analysis, the origins of a phenom. To truly appreciate the heights that Alexandra Eala has reached in 2026, we must journey back to where it all began. The story of this incredible young woman does not start on the manicured grass of Wimbledon or the vibrant hard courts of Miami. It starts in Quezon City, Philippines, a bustling, vibrant metropolis where basketball and boxing have long been the undisputed kings of the sporting landscape. Tennis, while played and loved by a dedicated community, was never seen as a viable path to global superstardom for a young Filipino child. But Eala was different from the very beginning. Born on May 23, 2005, she was introduced to the sport at the remarkably young age of 4. Tennis was in her blood. Her mother, Riza, was a bronze medalist in the women's 100-meter backstroke at the 1985 Southeast Asian Games, instilling a deep understanding of high-level athletic discipline within the family. Her older brother, Michael, was also a highly competitive tennis player, and the sibling rivalry on the local court served as the earliest crucible for Alexandra's competitive fire. It quickly became apparent that Alexandra possessed a natural affinity for the game. Her hand-eye coordination, her footwork, and her sheer, unadulterated passion for striking the ball set her apart from her peers. But raw talent in a developing tennis nation can only take you so far. The family faced a pivotal, life-altering decision to truly give Alexandra a chance to fulfill her immense potential. They knew she needed to be tested against the best in the world. She needed access to elite coaching, world-class facilities, and a grueling daily competition that breeds champions. This realization led to one of the most significant moments in her young life. In 2018, at just 13 years old, Alexandra and her brother packed their bags, left their home, their friends, and their comfort zone, and moved across the globe to Manacor, Majorca, Spain. Their destination: the newly opened Rafael Nadal Academy by movie star. Imagine the immense courage it takes for a young teenager to leave her homeland and move to a foreign country with a different language and a different culture, all in pursuit of a dream that, statistically speaking, is incredibly unlikely to come true. But Eala thrived. The Rafael Nadal Academy became her second home, her sanctuary, and her proving ground under the watchful eyes of elite coaches including Joan Bosch and occasionally receiving guidance from the legendary Rafael Nadal himself. Eala's game underwent a massive transformation. The Spanish clay taught her patience, heavy topspin, and the importance of constructing a point rather than just hitting blindly. Her natural aggressive instincts were refined and channeled into a potent all-court game. The Academy did not just build her physical skills. It forged her mental resilience. She learned the famous Nadal ethos: humility in victory, grace in defeat, and absolute uncompromising effort on every single point. Deep dive analysis conquering the junior ranks. The intensive training in Majorca quickly paid massive dividends on the ITF junior circuit. Eala was not just participating, she was dominating. By 2020, at the age of 14, the world got its first real glimpse of her potential on the grandest stages. Partnering with Prime Negro of Indonesia, Eala stormed through the draw to win the Australian Open Junior Girls Doubles title. It was a massive breakthrough, a validation of her decision to move to Spain and a moment of immense pride for the Philippines. But she was far from finished. The following year, in 2021, she proved her versatility by winning her second junior Grand Slam doubles title. This time on the red clay of Paris at the French Open alongside Russian partner Alexandra Eala, she reached a career-high junior ranking of world number 2, firmly establishing herself as one of the elite prospects on the planet. However, the defining moment of her junior career, the achievement that truly etched her name in the history books and signaled her future arrival on the Pro Tour, came in 2022. At the US Open Junior Championships, Eala played the tennis of her life without dropping a single set throughout the entire tournament. She powered her way to the girls' singles title. When she defeated Lucy Havlova in the final, she achieved something truly historic. She became the very first player from the Philippines to win a junior Grand Slam singles title. The images of a tearful, overcome Eala holding the trophy aloft in New York went viral instantly. In her victory speech, spoken passionately in Tagalog, she dedicated the win to her country, igniting a massive wave of national pride. She had conquered the junior world. The next step, however, would be the hardest test of all: the transition to professional ranks. Deep dive analysis. The brutal transition to the Pro Tour. Many junior champions vanish when they attempt to transition to the professional tour. The gap between playing girls her own age and playing grown women fighting for their livelihoods is a chasm that swallows many promising talents. Eala began her professional journey on the ITF circuit, the minor leagues of professional tennis, a grueling grind of low-prize money tournaments played in small towns around the world. Far away from the glamour of the Grand Slams, it is a true test of a player's love for the game and their mental fortitude. Eala passed this test with flying colors. Even while still competing in juniors, she began collecting professional titles. She won her first professional title at a W15 event right in her backyard in Manacor. In 2022, she claimed a W25 title in Chiang Rai, Thailand. By the end of 2024, Eala had accumulated 5 ITF singles titles and 3 doubles titles. She was steadily, methodically climbing the rankings, absorbing losses, learning from older, craftier opponents, and physically maturing into her frame. She was building the foundation, developing the fitness required to play back-to-back 3-set matches, and learning how to manage the intense travel schedule of a professional athlete. This period was crucial. It was a quiet, unglamorous work in the shadows that prepared her for the blinding spotlight that was about to hit her in the spring of 2025. She was building the physical and mental armor she would need to survive at the highest level. The breakout moment, Miami Open 2025. It was early March 2025 when Alexandra Eala truly announced herself to the world stage. The Miami Open, one of the most prestigious events outside the Grand Slams, became the canvas upon which she painted her masterpiece. Eala entered the tournament ranked just outside the top 100, a rising star on the cusp of global recognition, but she had yet to prove she could handle the pressure of the big stages. The first round was deceptively straightforward. Eala faced seasoned pro Daria Kasatkina. Many expected her to struggle, but she displayed remarkable poise, moving fluidly across the hard courts, mixing power and spin with the precision of a seasoned veteran. The victory was convincing, and yet it was just the appetizer for the storm to come. Round 2 brought her first real test, a match against former top 10 star Laura Siegemund. Eala was unfazed by the crowd and the bright lights. She played with a calm aggression that belied her age, winning in straight sets and leaving the audience in awe of her tactical maturity. Every shot was deliberate, every decision measured. She was no longer just a talented junior. She was a professional, ready to contend at the highest levels. By the third round, the Miami Open was buzzing with her story. The underdog from the Philippines was now a contender. Her opponent, Magdalene, was a known giant killer and fan favorite. This match was a marathon of tennis, pushing Eala to her limits. She lost the first set, rallied in the second, and in a third-set tiebreak, showcased nerves of steel, hitting passing shots and forehands that would make seasoned veterans envious. The win sent shockwaves through the tennis world. Eala was in the round of 16. Then came her round of 16 clash against world number 14, Karolina Muchova. The match was brutal, a physical and mental gauntlet. Muchova's experience and power tested Eala like never before. Despite Eala's remarkable fight, she ultimately fell in a tight 3-set battle. But the loss did not diminish her achievement. She had arrived. She had captured the attention of tennis fans, analysts, and players alike. Headlines from Manila to Madrid celebrated her historic run. Eala had shattered expectations and sent a clear message. She was a rising force that could not be ignored. This Miami Open performance was the catalyst that elevated Eala's global recognition. Sponsors, media outlets, and tennis legends began to take notice. She had transitioned from a promising talent into a household name, with the world keenly watching her every move. The journey to the top, ranking milestones. After Miami, Alexandra Eala's ascent was meteoric. Each tournament, each match, each victory became a stepping stone toward her current world ranking of number 29. She reached the quarterfinals in Dubai, battled deep into Indian Wells, and continued her momentum across clay and hard court events. Every win added points, confidence, and experience, further cementing her status as a genuine contender on the world stage. Breaking into the top 50 was monumental. It was the first time a Filipino player had reached such a position, shattering long-standing national records. But Eala didn't stop there. Her consistency, tactical evolution, and physical conditioning allowed her to enter the top 30, a level once considered unreachable for any player from her country. Eala's rise has not been a simple story of talent alone. It has been a calculated journey, blending raw skill with mental resilience, strategic planning, and a work ethic that rivals the very best. She has faced injuries, travel fatigue, and high expectations from her country and fans worldwide, yet she continues to thrive. The global perspective, changing women's tennis. Eala's story is not just about breaking records or climbing rankings. It is about changing the landscape of women's tennis. Historically, players from the Philippines have been invisible on the world stage. Eala's rise has inspired a new generation of athletes in Southeast Asia, proving that with talent, discipline, and opportunity, they too can compete with the world's best. Analysts have started drawing comparisons between Eala and the game-changing stars of the past. Her tactical intelligence, court vision, and mental toughness are reminiscent of legends. But what truly sets her apart is her ability to carry immense national pride without being overwhelmed by it, a rare trait for any athlete, let alone a 20-year-old. Eala's presence on the tour has also shifted attention to the growing talent pipeline in Asia. With the rise of players like Coco Gauff in the United States and Iga Swiatek in Europe, Eala is now part of a broader narrative. The next generation of women's tennis is more global, diverse, and dynamic than ever before. The mental game, maturity beyond her years. One of the most striking aspects of Alexandra Eala's journey is her mental strength. Even in defeat, she demonstrates grace, learning from each loss, analyzing weaknesses, and implementing changes with surgical precision. Her post-match interviews are measured, thoughtful, and humble, a reflection of a young athlete with a maturity far beyond her years. This mental fortitude is what separates Eala from many of her peers. While some crumble under pressure, Eala thrives. She treats high-stakes matches as opportunities rather than threats. Her ability to manage expectations, both personal and national, while remaining focused on continuous improvement, is a hallmark of a future superstar. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share. Till next time.